right, yap session. Just got home from being out all day, actually from last night. And when I left the house, I left my house a wreck. So I was really excited to get home to just sort of reset my environment. I knew I left a bunch of dishes in the sink and things just where they're not supposed to be. So coming home on a Saturday and resetting my environment so I can have a nice clean slate for the weekend is a great way that I sort of prep up or ramp up or gain momentum heading into the work week. One of the biggest lessons from last year, even the last 2 years in real estate that I've been applying into my business is how I curate my environment. It's no secret I shot a couple of videos about how tough of a year in 2023 and 2024 we had, us getting caught upside down in numerous projects and properties. Literally had my back against the wall and on the brink of bankruptcy. So coming into 2025 and coming out of that mess that was created in 2023 and 2024, I really had to dig deep and do some soul searching as it pertains to like what exactly is the issue and why do we have not just one tough year in real estate, but two back-to-back tough years. And as much as I can accredit this to high interest rates, like I said earlier, or a slow market, not a lot of buyers, right? It being a bad time to flip. At the end of the day, one of our core values at United Home Relief, my real estate company, is radical accountability. So as I looked inward, I'm like, all right, what can I do to not only prevent this from happening, but also keep me sane whenever we do experience those ups and downs? And when I looked around, I realized my environment was fairly trash. Now, by no means have I ever been a messy person. I've always been meticulous, or as some people around me would say, I have OCD. And this has helped me be able to organize and systemize any business that I've started, all the way from my youth basketball organization to United Home Relief, which is the main company that I run today. But I will say my meticulousness, or OCD, was fairly impulsive, meaning I kept things clean when I wanted to. I kept things systemized and organized when I felt like it. And there wasn't really much discipline paired with that meticulousness. I also noticed that no matter how hard I tried to keep my business or my household or whatever neat and clean and systemized, I was plaguing it with the wrong people in my environment. When people hear the word environment, they often think of like, space. But you got to think the environment is actually created not only by the space around you, but who's in that space, who you're in that space with, what the subject matter of the vibe is. So without getting too deep, I realized that my company, the vibes were off. I was working with a number of people that didn't align with my business ideologies. One of the biggest ideologies was just a trust that everything was going to work out the way it was supposed to work out. Limited anxiety and extreme peace. In business, working with people who did not embody either of those things and constantly moved through business with anxiety, with pressure, everything has to be a rush, like this heavy vibe that made business feel like a job, went against all the reasons that I started entrepreneurship in the first place. And to take it a step further, all the reasons why I started United Home Relief as opposed to running other businesses that I had in the past. The whole point of being in real estate was to create massive wealth and increase time freedom, financial freedom, and just overall relaxation and mindfulness. I had created this somewhat with systems and being organized, creating predictability in my business, but at the end of the day, I did not fill my business with the right partners, with the right alliances, with the right staff that also embodied this ideology. I really think all this is because I didn't identify my why. I'm not married, I don't have kids, so it wasn't like something I thought I needed to think deeply into. But after going through 2 rough years in business, I quickly realized that I didn't have a foundation to lean on when the going got tough. So if I can compare my environment at home and my business, I would simply say my business was like a beautiful house, well-designed, clean and well-kept with an extremely messy roommate. Except in my business, it was probably dozens of extremely messy roommates. So something I did at the end of 2024 and at the beginning of 2025 was clean house of every single person I worked with in any capacity at all that did not align with this ideology of limited anxiety and maximum peace. And as a result, like clockwork, my business is running much smoother. I find myself much happier, and I feel like I've finally prioritized myself over my business. There's a few creators I follow who maybe I'll shout out below that have really helped me embody this. And if not for nothing, it just really changed my mindset of how I looked at entrepreneurship. So many times entrepreneurship, especially real estate, it's all about hustle, 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 grind, 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 more money, more material things, more doors, but very rarely in the industry do you hear people talk about being happy, being at peace, and not being stressed. In fact, if I open Instagram right now, all of my favorite people that I follow in real estate make jokes about how stressful it is. So something I made it my business to do this year was to change the narrative around real estate and show people like yourself who's watching that real estate does not have to be stressful if you implement systems, prioritize yourself, and build your business around you and your life instead of building your life around your business. And all this can be achieved by keeping your household clean and refusing to be in an environment that brings you stress and anxiety. We have so much control over our lives, even when it doesn't feel like it. It all just starts with intention. If you want to be intentional about shifting your life and its trajectory, but you want to do so through real estate, comment the word peace below and I'm going to respond with my framework for how I built a real estate business that owns properties in multiple states while I get to relax here and shoot cool videos like this and take my time on a Saturday cleaning my house and just overall be at peace. No more stressing about finding deals, no more stressing about raising capital and funding deals, and no more stress about managing deals. Autopilot your real estate business, take control of your life, and limit your anxiety and maximize your peace. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You guys know the drill, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.